Hi guys, in this class I will be discussing some MCQs which are related to your NEET or JEE examination. Okay, so let's start the class without delay. So here it goes, the first question, and it says that the equivalent weight of oxalic acid, this formula is what? Now look, regarding equivalent weight, what we have to do is that, if we have to calculate equivalent weight, then the molecular weight, whatever the molecular weight of the compound, we have to divide it by what? N factor. And this N factor is nothing but number of H positive ion, okay, that can be provided by the compound, okay, in the ionic form. So I have solved the question, and let's have a look here, right? So the main portion is that, so equivalent weight equal what? Molecular weight or mass divided by N, where N equal to what? Number of H positive ion that can be donated or produced by the or from the compound. Okay, so here it goes, the solution. Look at it. If you look at the structure C2H2O4, so then this is what call our structure of oxalic acid. Now look at it. This OH, right? So the bond can be broken, isn't it? They are polar bond. So what? It can be written as what? Like this. O negative H positive, here also O negative H positive. So it can, from here we can get one H positive, here one H positive. So what is the N factor here? 2. And what do we know? That molecular weight of oxalic acid is what? 126 gram in 1 mole, means per mole, right? So equivalent weight will be what? 126 divided by 2, which is equal to what? 63. Okay. Answer of this particular question will be your word. Answer number B. Okay. Another question says that molarity of liquid HCl with density equal to 1.17 gram cc is. Now look at it, guys. Cc means what? This 1 cc equal to what? 1 ml. Okay. 1 cc equal to 1 ml. So you have to know these things. Now look, the density is given, right? Density is given. So density equal to what? Mass per volume, right? Meaning in 1 ml the mass is this, isn't it? So 1 cc solution contain what? This gram of HCl, right? In 1 ml what? This much of gram. So molarity equal to what? So molarity equal to what? Moles per volume, and that volume should be what? Converted into what? Liter unit, right? And we know what is mole. So how mole is calculated? Molar mass, given mass, right? This is the given mass here in case of density, divided by what? Their molecular mass or molar mass. So 36.5 is the molar mass of what call your HCl, right? 35.5 comes from chlorine and 1 comes from hydrogen, 36. So it will be what? Your mole. So while going through calculation, so we will get what? 32.05 this value. Okay, you try to go through the calculation of this. So these things are very simple. So we have milliliter converted into liter will be divided by 1000. So this is 1 by 1000, and this is mole. So it goes there, it comes here, right? So this is how we get the value here, and this is what called here 32.05. Okay. Okay. Another question, look here. It says that the ratio of masses of oxygen and nitrogen in a particular gaseous mixture is what called here 1:4. Mass ratio is given, right? That is 1:4, and it is asking what? The ratio of number of their molecules. Now look, mass is given, right? That is what, if ratio is given, so definitely we can consider them as their mass. So if we have to calculate molecule, right? Number of molecule equal to what? Mole into Avogadro's number, isn't it? Mole into Avogadro's number. So if you have to calculate molecule of oxygen, so what will we do? Mole of oxygen, so already mass is given, right? 1 by 32 is what? It's molar mass. So 1 by 32 means what? When given mass by molar mass, it is mole, right? And N is the Avogadro's number. So similarly for nitrogen also we can calculate it, right? So if we calculate the ratios of their molecular mass, then what we will, number of molecule, then molecule of O2 divided by molecule of N2. So so this Na will cancel out. So 1 by 32 will come below, 28 will go there. So after cancellation, so the value becomes what? 7:30. The correct answer is what call your option number D, 7:32. Okay. Okay, this is another interesting question. Okay guys, it says that arrange in decreasing order the energy of 2s orbital in the following atom. Decreasing order, that means what? Which is having, so we have to draw first what? Increasing, right? So highest one like this, right? We have to go like this. Okay, this is decreasing order. So we are talking about what? This atom, hydrogen, lithium, sodium and potassium. So what we know, hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, they belong to what? Same group, group number 1. Now what says? We have to arrange them in what? Decreasing order of what? Energy of 2s orbital. Now look, the concept behind this is this. As we move down the group, you know what exactly happens is that the atomic number increases, right? As well as the cell also increases. So which causes what? Greater attraction between the nucleus and the electron, which causes the electron what? Close, and nucleus and its energy will what? Get decreased. So if it happens, then what we can say that, so down the group, so in this particular atoms, what? So potassium will have what? Means more number of electron or a large number of cell, right? So what? From top to the bottom, what happens? The 2s energy will what? Orbital energy will what? Decrease. So if you're talking about decreasing order, so this will be the first option. I think you got this region behind this, right? Okay. Another question, which of the following is zero overlap? So look, this is what PZ, right? So obviously this is overlapping. So this is also what your PX, this is also overlapping. This PZ and S, right? This is also overlapping. But this PX and S, they are not overlapping, right? So in this case, what we will have? We will have zero overlapping. Okay. So I have shown here some concept here that possible orbital overlapping for sigma bond. So these are the overlapping, and for pi bond this. So for pi bond, what we have to do? PX and PY, right? And for this SS, isn't it, can overlap for sigma bond. PZ can overlap for sigma bond, and PZ and S orbital can forward sigma bond. So this is the concept, and you will get these things in our unit number 4, chemical bonding and structure, HS first year. Okay. Okay. Another question says that the critical temperature of water is higher than that of O2. What is the reason? Fewer electron of than O2? No, this can't be the reason. 2 covalent bond? No. Oxygen also have covalent bond, right? V shape, not possible. Regarding shape, there will be no critical. And the only reason behind this is what? Your dipole moment in hydrogen bonding. Yes, obviously. Meaning what? More the attraction in the molecule, or more the attractive forces between the molecule, than what it will have what? More what call your critical temperature. If you look about the critical temperature, then the point is that the temperature of a gas in its critical state, above which it cannot be liquefied by pressure alone. Okay, so this is what called our critical temperature. So only the reason behind the higher what call your critical temperature is that, so higher the intermolecular forces of attraction, so higher will be what called the critical temperature. So this is the point which we have to know. So in case of water molecule, what we have, so there is dipole moment, right? Polar molecule. So what has that? Strong dipole interaction, isn't it? In case of water molecule, we can have what? Hydrogen bonding, isn't it? So this is what we can say, strong dipole interaction, right? So due to this molecular what we can say, that molecular association, right? This is what we can say, molecular association. So due to this hydrogen bonding, more number of water molecule can gather there. So that's why it can be possible. Okay. Now another question, look. The electronegativities of fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine are like this: 4, 3, 2.8 and 2.5 respectively. Okay. So fluorine is the highest electronegative. The hydrogen halide with a higher percentage of ionic character. Look, higher percentage of ionic character depends on it's what? Difference in electronegativity. Okay, difference in electronegativity. Now as fluorine is more electronegative, so definitely what? HF bond will be what your it will be more ionic. But you know what, the same question means the same thing, right? It can be asked in terms of what? Acidic character. So once it is acidic character, it is ulta. Okay, HI, then HBr, then HCl, then HF. So this is what call your acidic order. Okay, so decreasing order. So this is decreasing order. Now why? If you ask me, then I will say you that, you know what, if you're talking about a strong acid, what is the main point behind that? I mean, it could get released the H positive ion more easily, right? Now what we can is that if the bond length is greater, I mean it's longer, not greater, longer here in HI, so what, this bond can be easily breakable. So it will release what? H positive ion more easily than the rest of them. So that's why HI is more acidic. So this is the another important point which you have to remember in this point. Okay. So the correct answer for this question is what called your HF. Okay. Okay guys, another question, this is an interesting one. What says, you know, molecule having sp2 hybrid atom it is. So BeCl2, CO2, HCHO, formaldehyde and NH3. So in which case the central atom is what called your sp2 hybridized. So look, I have shown the structure here, and one point to be remembered is that, you know what, if any central atom having single double bond, okay, say carbon, whatever, single double bond, then it is always what, sp2. But it is multiple double bond like this type, then it will be what call your sp, or if it is triple bond, then it will also be what call your sp. Clear? So here it is sp hybridization, here it is also sp multiple, and here it is what, sp3. So only sp2 hybridization is called what, in this case, formaldehyde. Okay, so this is the simple answer here. Okay, if you want to see the explanation here, you can have a look here. An atom within single double bond has an hybridization of what, sp2, but an atom with two or more double bond or with a single triple bond has what, an hybridization of what, sp. So here I have shown the structure and the hybridization also. Okay, so you try to go through this thing. So this is an important point from here. Another simple question, guys. A sigma bond. Okay, sigma bond means single bond, sp2 s means sigma bond is formed by what, sp2 hybridized orbital and s orbital. Bond is present in which of the following? So here what, hybridization, it is what called sp3 hybridization. So in NH3 also nitrogen is sp3 hybridization. In SiCl2 also silicon is sp3 hybridization. So only sp2 hybridization carbon is what, your carbon carbon double bonded, right, sp2, and hydrogen is forming bond. So hydrogen has only one s orbital, so this one, right? So the answer is what called your option number D. Okay. Another same type of question, guys. NH bond in ammonia is what type of bond in case of ammonia? Look, if we talk about the ammonia, the simple logic is that so nitrogen and hydrogen are forming single bond. That means what, sigma bond. So nitrogen is hybridization, if you look, sp3 hybridization, and this has what called your s orbital. So what, the answer is simply what called your, the option number C, isn't it? So sigma sp3 what called your s. It's very simple. Okay, so you can have a look here. I have so drawn these things here. Okay. Okay, another interesting question, students. Two vessels of equal volume, look, volume is what, same, contain separate equal amount of H2 and CH4. So amount is also same. So V and N are what, constant. If the first vessel is at 300 Kelvin and the second is 600, then the ratio of their pressure inside them. So what we know from ideal gas, PB equal to nRT. It's very simple. If you look at the pressure of what called H2, then what? So this, it will be, the V will become here, right? So P of H2 will be nRT. So temperature is 300 by V, and for pressure for methane also this we can write like this, right? Now, so V is constant, right? So V of H2 or V of CH4, it will be same, so it will be cancel out. So now what we can do, if you're talking about the ratio of pressure, so this will, we are just place the value here, right? So this is, we have to calculate now what, mole. So RR will be cancelled out, right? So temperature is 300, in methane it is 600, so we have to put the temperature. Now if we calculate the mole of H2 and CH4, so we just have it molar mass divided by, given mass divided by molar mass. So if you go through the calculation, then you will have the value definitely as what, 4:1. Okay guys, this is the interesting question one, but the tricky one, right? Simple but tricky. Okay. Okay guys, another question. For a given mass of gas at constant temperature, look, T is constant, T never changes. If the volume V becomes 3 times, so V equal to what? 3B. So definitely two system will be here, right? System 1 and system 2. In system 1 volume is this, and pressure another system 2 volume is 3B. Then says that then the pressure P becomes what? So if temperature is constant, so it is talking about what? V and P relation. So what we know? P or V is what? Inversely proportional, right? They are inversely proportional. So what we can do? So we can write like this, right? So P1 equal P2 P2. So for first case what? P1 is P pressure. So volume is V. So here 3B and P, right? So if you calculate the P2 here in the second what call your system, what is the pressure? So this is what? P by 3. So this is the correct option, right? P by 3. Okay. So this question you may find little bit critical, but not that much. I have gone through many analysis of this particular question. Now it is written Versen, right? Versen is nothing but it is what? EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetate. But here in place of 4 hydrogen we will have what? 4 sodium. Mane ethylene diamine what we can say? Sodium tetraacetate, what we can say like that. So it says that Versen is an chelating agent having chemical formula this. If each mole of the compound could bind 1 mole of Ca2. 1 mole of Ca2. Okay. I will show the structure here regarding binding. Then it says that then the rating of pure version expressed as milligram of Ca, calcium carbonate. It is calcium comes from where? Calcium carbonate. Bound per gram of chelating is. So we have to calculate the value in what? Milligram. So look, 1 mole of calcium equal to what? 1 mole of calcium carbonate. From we will get calcium carbonate from here, and it is what? It will be what? In 100 gram. Okay. Now rating of mg of rating of what call your milligram, rating of milligram of CO3 needed per gram chelating agent, molar mass it will be 380. So what? This much of this, right? 100 of 380. So it is in gram, right? So the value comes out as what? It this, and so we have to convert it into what? Milligram. So just multiply with 1000. So that's it. So the answer comes out as this. It's very simple, guys. It's very simple. I'm telling you. Just try to go through these things. Okay. If you want to see, so this is the structure which I have shown. I think it will be. It may not be clear. But you try to go through these things. Okay. So EDTA. The version is what? EDTA with what? 4 sodium. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Earlier we are having hydrogen, right? When it is only EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetate, we will have hydrogen. Look, and these 2 nitrogen are binding here. Okay. So this is the calcium 2 positive. So this is what. Another question, guys. When burnt in air, 14 gram mixture of carbon and sulfur gives a mixture of what? CO2 and SO2 in the volume ratio of what? 2:1. Okay. So volume being measured at the same condition of temperature and pressure, the number of mole of carbon in the mixture. So we have to find out what? Mole of carbon in the mixture. So what we have gone through is that we are saying that let mass of carbon be X, whatever you can take, and mass of sulfur will be what? 14 minus X, right? 14 gram is there. Mixture is 14 gram. So definitely if we take X as in of carbon, so then definitely after subtracting carbon mass from here, so whatever left, it will be whatever sulfur. So mole of carbon equal to what? This mass divided by 12 molar mass, and mole of what call here sulfur will be what? This mass divided by 30. What we have written here is according to question, look, carbon and oxygen, carbon dioxide, sulfur and oxygen, sulfur dioxide. So what we can say now, mole of carbon equal to what? Mole of CO2, right? Equal to X by 12, and mole of sulfur equal to what? Mole of SO2. So this much. Now what? Given what? Volume ratio is given to us, right? Carbon and sulfur volume. Now we know that volume is what? Directly proportional to mole from Avogadro's law. So what we can write? So in case of this, we can put these 2 values, isn't it? So we have just done this, and we have just tried to find out the value of what? X. The mass of what? Carbon, as because it is asking to calculate the mass mole of carbon. So mole of carbon in mixture equal to what? Mass of carbon in mixture, it is 6 divided by molar mass, it will be what? Your 0.5. I think you guys have understood these things. Okay, you try to go through these things, okay, very carefully. Another question, guys. A mixture of your methanoic acid and oxalic acid is heated with concentrated sulfuric acid. The gas produced is collected, and on treatment with potassium hydroxide solution, the volume of gas decreases by what? 1 by 6. So calculate the ratio of calculate the ratio to molar of 2 acids in original mixture. So what is the ratio? We have to calculate it. Now look, this is the reaction, okay? What call your methanoic acid reacting with sulfuric acid and oxalic acid reacting with sulfuric acid. This is this. Now what we have saying here is that let mole of your methanoic acid will be X and your oxalic acid Y. So mole of CO2 produced from what call your methanoic acid is X, and mole of CO produced from this is Y, and mole of CO2 produced from what? Oxalic acid is also Y, isn't it? Because it is producing what? Carbon monoxide and what? Your carbon dioxide both. We've said that the total mole of gases, right? So what are the gases? 2 what? Carbon monoxide, and 1 what? Your carbon dioxide. So X plus twice Y. So one of the Y comes from where? CO2. Now on heating with potassium hydroxide, it says that carbon dioxide is absorbed there, and volume will what? Decrease by 1 by 6 of the original volume. The fraction of CO2 equal what? 1 by 6 equal this. So after calculation, so X by Y equal to what? Your 4:1. Okay, so this is the solution of this. So you try to go through these things. Another good question here. 1 mole of mixture of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide requires exactly 20 gram of sodium hydroxide in solution for complete conversion of all these CO2 into what? Sodium carbonate in the mixture. Okay, so now what? We have seen that sodium hydroxide reacting with carbon dioxide, it is giving. So this is the main equation for us, right? Now what is the mole here ratio here? Mole ratio will be what? 1:2. Carbon dioxide 1:2. So if that is, we need what? 2 mole of sodium hydroxide to convert 1 mole of CO2 into what? Na2CO3. So mole of sodium hydroxide, it will be what? 20 divided by 40 equal to this, right? 20 gram sodium hydroxide it is given, and mole of carbon dioxide, it is what? 0.5 by 2. Okay, so equal to 0.25. So this, right? Okay, now the mole of carbon monoxide is what we can say now is what? 1 minus to the 0.25, so it will be this, and oxidation of CO, so this it will give us CO2. Now molar ratio is what? 1:1, right? Now mole of CO2 form are this, this much of is left right here, isn't it, after the formation of CO. Now then if half the mole of sodium hydroxide required, so Na required is what called your 2 into this, so it will be 1.5, and 1 mole equal to 40 gram, isn't it? If we are talking about sodium hydroxide, the 1 mole sodium hydroxide equal to 40 gram. If it is 1.5 mole of sodium hydroxide, then it is what? 1.5 into 40, which is equal to what? Your 60 gram. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to understand these things. Okay, so it's just a simple try from my side. Okay, so if you like the video, just press the like button. Okay, subscribe the channel, and don't forget to share it, and don't forget to comment in the comment section. Okay, so thank you for today. If you like the video, then please comment, then I will upload another video class regarding the same topic. Clear?